frame.
Hey, it's Mike.
It's Todd.
And it's Evan, and welcome upstairs to another episode of the Third Floor Podcast. This week's episode is episode 12, and we are talking about the city that is the heart of it all. We, of course, are talking about our hometown of Columbus, Ohio. And joining us on this week's episode is our good friend, Joey. Joey, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Joey's a man of many words. So, as we go forward, and like I said, we're talking about Columbus today, the city we represent, and I'm wearing a Columbus, Ohio shirt if you can't tell. So Michael and I have lived in Columbus for most of our lives, but Joey and Todd are transplants here. Joey originally from Austin, Texas, and Todd will just say Charlotte, North Carolina.
Straight from the black market.
Yep. So we got two Southerners, but they've been in Columbus long enough that they know the city pretty well. They'll be able to add some good topics to our conversation today.
I can tell you which side of town not to live on.
The
Made
west
that mistake.
side.
Amen to that.
I
Worst
made
road,
that mistake.
yeah.
I love if we
Avoid
can
that
just start
one.
right there. Joey, you came over to that. Well, both of you guys came over to that place.
I did not experience this.
You did not miss a thing.
Okay.
That
I
was
certainly did not.
It's actually a miracle that all three of us survived.
Really?
It was.
Cockroaches, I remember that.
Yeah.
We talking like Hague Avenue area, or
We're talking like Carl Road.
Okay.
That's
Living on Carl Road.
That's not an area of town you want to be in.
No.
So there's
Carl
two
Road.
parts, right? There's two parts. There is the side of Carl Road that is north of 270, and that's okay. If you are on Carl Road, stay north of 270. If you go south on Carl Road and you pass 270, it gets to be...
You've gone too far.
You know that meme that's from The Lion King where they're standing at the top of the rock and there's that really dark shadow place?
Yeah.
And they usually say, like, there's, I don't know, Cincinnati, don't go there. Or, like,
Yeah.
there's whatever. They had one about my hometown. There's Hickory, North Carolina, don't go there. That's what I would say about the first place that I lived in Columbus is there's Carl Road, don't go there. It's that, yeah, it was rough. 3 people died while I lived there in 6 months.
That's pretty intense, actually.
Yeah.
How were any of them by murder?
One of them was by a drug overdose.
Okay.
One of them was by a heart attack, and then the other was actually it was a car accident. There was a pond, which the speed limit on this road was marked as 15 miles an hour. Okay, they ended up driving into the pond and drowning.
Oh
I
my
have no
gosh.
idea. I remember waking up one night in the helicopter. I looked out my window. The helicopter was like circling around our complex. I was like, "What the heck?" And it was like that for like 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Rough stuff.
Not to
So-
sound insensitive, but do you guys remember that episode of The Office where Michael follows his GPS into the lake?
Yes.
He told him to turn there, and Dwight's telling him no, and Michael's
He's probably
like,
trying to kill Dwight.
the
Let's
GPS
be
knows where we're going,
Yeah.
and then they drive into the lake and.
Clearly does not.
Yeah. So, Joey, tell us a little bit about Texas. Tell us, like, how long did you live in Texas?
Would you rather be there right now? I mean,
Right now,
I'd rather be in the heat.
yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell us about Texas. What's it like? What's your favorite part about Texas?
The barbecue,
Okay,
That's fair.
fair enough.
Really
That's
good.
Southern, yeah.
the Mexican food,
What part of Texas were you from?
Austin.
Oh.
Now I've heard Austin is really comparable to Columbus as far as like population size.
Yeah.
But it's
Size,
also
yeah.
the state capital of Texas, like Columbus is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
you ever
then
go to
you-
Austin city limits?
Then
City
you,
I have
uh,
never been there.
Ah,
I want to be,
yeah.
or I want to go.
Fair enough.
So
Hey, could you do me a favor and plug that in? We're doing great on this, and I just don't want to disrupt these amazing people. They're viewing some amazing content. Sorry.
So, boom.
Forgot to plug in
Since
charge
we are
cord.
talking about Columbus, and it can be anything, what are some of your favorite things to do or see around here?
I like all the parks. I'm a big nature guy.
Right.
There are a lot of parks.
There are a lot, surprisingly a lot of parks. Specifically, Sharon Woods is a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's not too big, but they have some good trails.
Mhm.
It's not too far from us.
Yeah,
That's
it's
actually
really not
that's
far.
off of Cleveland. Have you ever been there, Joe? You're an outdoor guy,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, I've been there.
actually, so fun fact: before I met you,
Mhm.
and even after I met you, you two guys became my like text people whenever I needed advice on where to go, and especially with outdoor stuff, like where do I go to walk? Where do I go to like get some nature experiences?
Yeah, Joe, you're a nature guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My favorite response from Joey is open your door, go outside and you're there.
Yeah. It's nice to have some trees though around you.
Yeah.
A little pathway to walk in.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was reaching out to Joey about, he goes hammocking all the time. Like, this guy takes Snapchats all the time and is just always hammocking or like canoeing and then climbing up a bank and then hammocking. And like, where is he doing all these things? And I remember reaching out to him, I was like, Joey, I'm literally driving around Westerville trying to figure out where to go hammock. He's like, dude, find 2 trees and put your hammock there. It's like, it's not that
You
easy.
just go to Hoover Dam or Island
Now
Creek.
Hoover Dam is a part of Columbus, correct?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
consider it, yeah. I think in this case, if it's in a suburb of Columbus, it's
Mhm.
part
Yeah.
of Columbus.
That's probably one of my favorite spots, and Evan and I have
Yeah,
had many
we've had-
kayak adventures
yeah.
there.
Michael and I both being kayakers in the summertime, we have those, we both have our own kayaks and we've gone there plenty of times. Not as much though in the last like couple of years.
This last year we didn't really get to.
Probably
but-
because of the fact that we don't really have anywhere to store our kayaks and they're
Right.
at our respective parents, grandparents' house in this
Right.
case for you. But I remember when we first got our kayaks, it was almost like we were on probably at least once every 2 weeks, I would say.
Yeah,
We were out there in the
okay.
water,
So
yeah.
do you remember the time we were out and we were coming back from like a storm? And
Oh,
literally,
yes.
we were out in the middle of Hoover Dam,
Absolutely.
and it was getting ready to rain. You can
Mm.
tell the waves are picking up, and we're literally fighting to get back to shore, like
Yeah.
that swept back fighting.
We had no control like over like the waves.
Where was this? Where
We
This
were
was
caught
in Hoover.
out at Hoover Dam
Yeah.
Hoover Dam.
in
We-
kayaks.
We went out like when it was really windy, so the water was like going like the current was a lot stronger than it typically is.
Nope, hard
Yep.
pass.
And
Hard pass.
we're out there just in kayaks. I
Mm.
mean, mind you, it's not like the great like tidal wave. but
Right. That was
still,
a good time.
yeah.
That was a good time.
Did you think you were gonna die?
No,
No, but it was hard to paddle. Like you were not
Yeah.
making any traction.
it was very strenuous because we're trying to paddle back like so. Like here's like one end of it. Here's where we need to be, and we're paddling this way. So the current's like going. We'll say the current was going this way. It was going like really.
Just kept pushing you, didn't it?
No, it went actually this way. So we had to like go left just to compensate for what was blowing us back to the right.
Yeah.
Jeez. Man.
So Hoover Dam's great.
Yeah.
There's they have some pathways to walk around.
Oh yeah,
out there.
they absolutely do, yeah. I mean, we got plenty of trails. You got the Scioto Mile near downtown.
Yeah,
There's the Old Tangy
that's
Trail.
really good.
The Franklin Park Conservatory.
Oh, that's
I
really
drove
good.
by that for the first time actually the other day.
Oh.
I didn't realize that where I work is actually like just literally a few minutes up the road. So
I need to go back there again because I went there a couple times as a kid, and it's
Yeah.
really cool when you go.
It
and
is
you
really
see,
cool.
when you see all the different types of butterflies
right.
in that exhibit.
Fair enough.
Because there's flying around, you see butterflies like you don't even know about. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool.
If we go back to Sharon Woods for a second, did you guys ever go to Knight's Ice Cream?
Mm-mm, but I know.
Is that
of it.
still in business?
No, they're gone.
Okay.
It's right
They
there in
stopped.
Cleveland, right?
I think they
I remember it
stopped
was
in
right
like
across.
2016.
It was right across the street. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never went there though.
Oh,
Joey, where's your favorite park out of like all Columbus? Where's your favorite place to go?
Hoover.
Hoover.
Yeah.
Man, I
It's
had
a good
feeling-
spot. There's a lot of things you can do there.
Yeah.
So if you've never been, go check it out.
Do you have a kayaking store? Because he likes to kayak too.
Yeah.
But he does it by himself. He's like the.
I'll do that too sometimes.
Yeah,
It's,
I've done
it's
it
like
too.
peaceful as long as
Yeah.
it's not in a storm.
There's a very
Yeah.
yeah. There's a very different thing between like river kayaking and like what we do a lot. I would call it lake kayaking. Lake
Sure.
kayaking is like just paddle out to the middle of the lake and just kind of stroll around wherever.
Yeah.
River
Cool.
kayaking, you're more on a current.
The cool thing about Hoover is when it rains, it kind of floods a little bit. So there's more areas that you can
Yeah.
kayak to that you wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to before.
Well, that's a good transition point. I feel like because. This episode we're going to talk about the history of Columbus. We've had some great experiences. Columbus, the reason why we hit so hard on parks is because there's a lot of people that care a lot about the nature parks and the nature trails and biking, kayaking trail, like all this stuff that's related to outdoors. I'm gonna say kayaking trails, but yeah, there's a big focus on the outdoor world here in Columbus, I would say, and one of the things, we've got some notes here that kind of give us some cool reference points about Columbus's history, but I was actually watching a YouTube documentary on my lunch break And the first like little bit of it, they were actually talking about how the river downtown.
Mhm.
What is that? What is the
Olentangy River.
Olentangy
Oh,
River.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, one of the biggest problems in Columbus was figuring out how to. They said it was like figuring out how to connect that river into the city because of like transportation or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys had any notes or anything like that, or any findings on that, but apparently the main point is the riverway downtown was like a huge problem for a long time as they were like developing the city and as people were migrating to the city. People actually left the city way back when. I think the lady that was giving the talk about it said that the population at one point was like, this is years and years and years ago, but it was like at 30,000, which is a lot of people.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it just dropped like to 2,000. So pretty intense. But anyways,
It had to have been way back then because
Yeah.
in 1900 Columbus had a population of over 125,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, it was founded in what, 1803?
The state was, yeah. The funny thing is actually originally the capital was in Chillicothe,
yeah, that's pretty
and then it was
interesting.
Zanesville, and it kind of went back and forth. And they basically built Columbus like a brand new city
Mhm.
to be the state capital, like that was in the center. So, because originally they were thinking about maybe doing it in like Dublin or Worthington or
Mhm.
Delaware being the state
Yeah.
capital. Could you imagine if Worthington was the state capital?
Nope.
I can't.
No.
It would be a lot different.
But also, I mean, that's what you do when you pick a place like that. You build around it.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Here's the thing that you got to realize, though. I think about like our major cities. Okay, in the United States, like in Columbus is another example. Where are most cities located next to? Bodies of water.
yeah.
Bodies of water. Cincinnati is right next to the Ohio River. Cleveland, Lake Erie. Chicago, Lake Michigan. New York, Hudson River, Atlantic Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, you got 3 rivers there. Philadelphia, the Jersey River. San Francisco and Los Angeles, right there on the coast. Think about your major cities in California. They are all on the coast.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any major cities like on the Nevada border.
Well, it's partly because of the trade, right? Like as
that's
everything developed, it's
that's how it was back then. You needed like the rivers for that trade.
yeah.
Um,
Me and Joey always get in arguments about zombie apocalypse. He always tells me that I need to get on a boat.
You could probably build a city. A city today. You could build up much better with the technology we have now, away from a body of water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
But back to the whole thing about Columbus.
Well, note, we're named after the somewhat controversial Christopher Columbus.
for the
So-
record, okay.
Hear
yes,
ye, hear ye.
he was a great explorer, but Christopher Columbus was a total asshole.
Bingo.
I'm sorry, he was. You're an element. I don't even know why. Like, side
I have
rant
no
here for a
idea.
second. In elementary and middle school, you're taught like this guy's like this great hero, and then you get
Right.
to high school and you start doing research, and like he's
really
not
crushes
he's like
everything
not
you
the
thought
guy
you
you
knew.
expected it to be.
Yeah.
Okay, well keep going. This is good. Let it all off your chest.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, he was cruel to the Indians, and like, I don't even think he really was the first person to actually discover America.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah,
Considering they were here first.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Really sorry about
travelers, I mean, I don't know.
But he's also, and here's another, I guess, good transition point is because it's Christopher Columbus. Our minor league baseball team, the Clippers, draw their inspiration from the Christopher Columbus name.
Oh, really?
I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Because you see the Clippers, it's a ship. That's why.
That's okay. That's
then-
fair. Yeah.
So
All right. Well, one of my favorite things about Columbus, and as far as like the history of it goes, and maybe not necessarily just the history, but like the future of it, is that there's a lot of growth happening right now, and I think it's because of how far technology's come. I think you had said something to that a few minutes ago,
Yeah.
but one of the things that I think it's a science place downtown.
Kosai.
There's Kosai.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that one and Battelle. So I don't know. I don't want to like get tracked by the government here. Hopefully not. But hide my face. But Battelle is apparently like this big. I'm not gonna say like top secret science like place in Columbus, but it's downtown. It's right up. Right up from the street from where I work. But they do all kinds of like research there and all kinds of different fields, technologically related. But I don't know. One of the big things that I like about Columbus though is just that it's focused on technology, and I think that it's got a bright future. That's for sure. There's a little bit of, I was saying earlier before the show, there's a little bit of a lack in programming experts here in Columbus. So Joey, learn to program.
No thanks.
Why is it gonna be Joey? There can be other programmers out there. Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things when you think about like what makes a city so successful is what businesses do they have.
Yeah.
And here in Columbus, we have headquarters for places like Nationwide Insurance, AEP, L Brands, Big Lots, Cardinal Health, and you got food service corporations like
his
Wendy's,
favorite place,
Donato's, Bob Evans, Max and Irma's, White Castle.
What's his favorite place?
What's your favorite place, Joey?
Wendy's.
Oh my gosh.
What's your favorite combo, Joey?
Number 2.
Number 2.
I'm sorry, I had to call him out on it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
a big company in Columbus though also is Chemical Abstracts. I don't know if you mentioned them earlier,
No, I did
but
not.
my grandpa worked for them for the majority of his working
Really?
career.
Did you know they're
so-
the world's largest private research and development foundation?
Yeah,
Yeah, right here in the notes.
they
Wow.
right there in the notes.
Yeah.
Right.
Also home of the world's largest clearinghouse of chemical information, NetJets. So, if you're looking for a good job, Columbus has plenty of them.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank God though, Amazon didn't make their way here.
I'm actually really happy about that.
Yeah, and we were on the chopping block, or like not on the chopping block, but top.
20,
So
top
yeah,
15, top 20.
you and I talked a lot about that whenever
They
it was
picked
going on.
such
What was it? They picked DC and
DC and New York. It was
Yeah.
like the typical choices.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't-
surprised they didn't take it somewhere else.
I don't get how you do like. I can get how you do one, but how do you do both when they're that close?
Right. Why do both when
Yeah.
they're that close?
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I remember I was downtown with Mel and we were walking, people were doing some sort of documentary about Amazon and if you wanted it and everything, and I told him, I was like, no, I don't want them to come here. It would, our infrastructure is not prepared for that.
Don't even
Right.
get them started on traffic.
Yeah.
How the layout of the city is and how we lack a significant public transportation
Yeah.
system.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
need, that is what
We
Columbus
need a
needs.
light rail
Yeah.
badly. But go on. I'll go on with my thing after you say what you were saying.
That was it. I mean,
Okay.
it would have wrecked Columbus if Amazon moved in.
Yeah, we don't have we have CODA, but it's not that great to use if you live in the suburbs.
Right.
And you have a lot of cities now that have built light rails. Portland has a really good one. Cleveland has one. But Columbus, for whatever reason, does not want to build one,
Yeah.
and it
Let's
makes
start a petition.
Yeah,
No
that's the
sense.
direction they need to go.
Put Joey's face on the front of it.
There you go.
I think everyone that would look at it would just like die.
like I have to give up my car. No, thank you.
Are you kidding me?
Well, most of you people here in
yeah.
Columbus don't know how to drive your car, so
This is very
I'm
true.
telling you, don't get that started on traffic.
I know.
It'll be a 48-minute episode.
Yep.
yeah,
But-
it's kind of cool though when you look around. You see all the things like Columbus. Money Magazine in 2016 ranking us one of the 6 best cities, calling it the best city in the Midwest. And I mean, there's no shortages of good cities here in the in the Midwestern United States.
Oh no, our audio stopped recording. It's okay. We got video recording still.
So,
Technology.
Letting go, Todd.
how's this gonna work out now?
Well, we're just gonna use the video recording.
Okay.
I think I tried to record it to the wrong hard drive. It's okay. Make a mistake. So, we'll just keep rolling here. We're actually coming up on time anyways, right?
We got 10 minutes left.
Got a couple more minutes. So, one of the other interesting facts I saw here that dates way back when is the National Road actually reached Columbus in 1831. Since we're talking about traffic and stuff, as one of the facts I was reading earlier. It says it complemented the city's new link to the Ohio and Erie Canal and facilitated a population boom.
I thought that was pretty cool because that was like the first really major highway in the United
Yeah.
States. Mind you, this is during the time when westward expansion was still going on in the United States, and we were still nearly 30 years away from the Civil War.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
1850, Columbus saw its first railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact I remember.
Yeah.
you know, I kind of got depressed because there used to be like a Union Station, and Amtrak used to run through Columbus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like you had trains going to like Cleveland, like through like Pittsburgh, New York, and west to like St. Louis, Indy, and it's like, why can't we still have that?
I don't know.
Like if I want to do Amtrak, I gotta do it at Cleveland.
I really do think they need something
They
better
do.
than what they've had before, but or ever had. Period. But now here's a question for you:
What?
have you ever had food in German Village?
Nothing?
Never had food.
Never
in
been to German Village?
It's German Village.
Oh boy, it's like the one of the best parts of Columbus.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a fact here. It's the largest privately funded historic district in. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. So, Joey, you're missing out, man. What's the sausage place down there?
Schmitz,
Schmitz. Yeah,
it's really good.
really good place.
I'm not a German fan, but they have some amazing cream puffs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazing cream
Yeah.
puffs.
it's
Absolutely.
they have Brick Road. It's very
Yeah.
Schiller Park is really nice.
Yeah.
Brown
where
Bag
Thurman's
Deli.
is.
Yeah, Thurman's is there too. We talked about it on the last episode.
Yeah. Take a. Stop what you're doing and go back and listen. I'm just kidding. Where's the brown bag? What?
Brown Bag Deli is in
Okay.
German Village also.
Yeah, they've got the book loft. It's
That
not a place
place
to
is really
eat
cool.
unless you like to eat paper, but
Yeah.
book loft is really awesome.
Stoff's Coffee.
You know, I haven't tried that place yet.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Stoff's is good.
You like Stoff's?
So you have been to German Village?
Oh,
Have
that's
you-
German Village?
That is German Village.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I guess
Joey
I
has
have.
been there.
The whole area down there.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any other experiences here? I feel like we can't.
We can't have a long conversation. Couple other friends that I have, we used to go on drives all the time, and a lot of times we would drive up High Street through the Schultz North and through the
Yeah.
Ohio State campus.
I've been on
And I
those
gotta
drives.
say, it's different because like the short north, it's like all fancy, and then like you go up a little further north, or maybe south, I don't know, but you get into the campus area, and it's like you see the college scene,
Yeah.
so it's pretty cool.
Got the Ohio State University, OH.
IO. You're welcome.
I learned an interesting story today about the 1926 homecoming queen election at Ohio State. There was a lady by the name of Rosalind Morrison who was voted as homecoming queen. But when it was figured out that there had been 12,000 votes cast and there were only 10,000 students enrolled, they found out the election was rigged. So she surrendered the title, and the runner-up was Maudine Ormsby, a mystery candidate entered by the College of Agriculture. Maudine was actually a Holstein cow. So,
That
there was
sounds like some
one
Amish.
year, Ohio State elected a cow to be their homecoming queen.
That's incredible.
That's
actually.
some Amish mafia stuff
Also,
right there.
10,000 students, could you imagine, like, 10,000 students at Ohio State? That's like one class now.
That's
like
a
a graduating-
That's a graduating
That's
class.
a graduating
literally.
class at Columbus State. Because if I'm not mistaken, Columbus has or Ohio State has the largest alumni network in the country.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a few years ago, when Ohio State was playing Oregon in the College Football National Championship, the championship game was played in Dallas. So it's probably it's about equal distance probably from Eugene and Columbus. But because of all the transplants in Texas from Ohio State, about 80% of that stadium for that game was Buckeye fans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was insane because you have all these people that's why there's so many Buckeye fans out in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Buckeyes, even when they go and play in the Fiesta Bowl, the majority of the stadium is Ohio State fans.
Dude, on my honeymoon in the Dominican Republic, My wife and I ran into people from freaking Lewis Center, from Columbus, from Westerville.
Mhm.
Like we ran into people like literally
Remember that
that we
in
can't you can't
Philadelphia?
escape him.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. We went to the
We were on a little ballpark tour. We were at a game in Philadelphia. This
literally
was 2
the
years
people
ago.
in front of us.
Yeah, they were from Westerville.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's crazy,
awesome.
man. You can't
It's insane.
escape people from Ohio.
Yeah, because also another interesting fact that I found was that 48% of Americans live within 600 miles of Columbus.
48% of Americans.
Yeah.
Live within 600 miles of Columbus.
Yeah.
600 miles is a long way though. I'm
It-
not.
it-
I mean
it
that's
is, yeah,
that's like
but-
driving from here to South Carolina.
But I think the whole point of it is like they're saying like that most of the population, no matter where they're at, can get to Columbus in a day's drive.
And the rest live in California.
Yeah. Who cares about
We can
that?
just leave them out there.
Yeah.
There will be an earthquake someday in California, and they'll separate from us,
Yeah.
literally.
The state
All right.
will break off.
I'm gonna run through a list of names, and you guys tell me if they're from Columbus or not.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The game.
Keanu Reeves.
No.
No.
You're right. He's not.
But he's a badass.
He is a badass. Guy Fieri.
Yes.
Then don't know.
He is.
He is.
He is.
Survey says.
Yes.
His original name was Ferry. His original last name was Ferry. Then he changed it to Fieri.
Really?
Yeah, I just found that out today.
I did not know that. Why did he change it?
It was like it was his grandparents' surname.
Okay.
Okay. Simone Biles.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Aha!
Oh.
She is.
Okay.
And she's a fantastic.
Joey, you're not
gymnast.
answering. You got to get in on the action. Let's go.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston.
I wish.
No.
No, she's not.
That'd be so cool to meet Jennifer Aniston.
That would
Why?
be.
I don't know.
Well, you can still meet people even if they're not from
I
Columbus.
don't know.
It's just nice to have the little recognition. Bow Wow.
Yes.
Yippee yo.
He is.
Yippee yes.
Yeah, we don't claim him, but he is.
We won't claim him.
Randy Savage.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Ha.
And then one more, Granville T. Woods. I put him in here just because he's awesome. He's an inventor, and he was the first mechanical engineer in America.
We say yes.
Really?
His name's
Yeah.
Granville.
Yes,
Okay.
Did he build Granville with his own 2 hands?
I wish he did,
That would be
but
cool.
he did not.
It's probably named after him though.
Well, there you have it. That is a 2-part episode of what we've experienced in Columbus. There's a little history of Columbus. It's a booming city. It's a very booming city. I think it's got a lot of future ahead of it. I don't plan on going anywhere.
Nope.
Joey, you're not allowed to go anywhere.
Okay.
Because we said so. Because you got to be on the show again. You
Yep.
just verbally signed a contract.
Darn it. Thanks, Joey.
That's
Although
fine.
next time, Todd, you need to let us know in advance that we're gonna be asking.
Yeah, Todd. It's all your fault.
Jeez, Todd. Come on.
Sorry. All right. Well, who wants to? Joey, take us out of here. Give us a closing statement.
Bye.
Well, you heard it there. Thank you everyone again for listening to this episode of this week's Third Floor Podcast. We'll talk to you again next week.
See you next week.